Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that I know a lot of you have been curious about: how to get a US visa. Whether you're planning to visit, work, study, or even live in the United States, understanding the visa process can be a little bit tricky, but don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about applying for a US visa, from the different types to the key requirements and some tips and tricks to help you boost your chances of getting approved. So if you're looking to travel to the US, stick around because this is the ultimate guide. Now, before we dive deep into the specifics, let me just throw in a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. While I've researched the process extensively and will provide you with a ton of useful info, it's always best to double-check everything with the official US Embassy website or consult with an immigration expert, especially because visa requirements can change from time to time. You know, it's always good to be on the safe side. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into it. So, first things first, what is a visa? A visa is essentially an official permission or document that allows you to enter and stay in a country for a specific period of time. In this case, it's for the US. When you apply for a visa, you're asking the US government to allow you to come to the country for a particular reason, whether it's tourism, business, study, or work. It's not permanent unless you're going for an immigration visa, which means you plan to live in the US long term. But it's the first step for people who want to come into the country temporarily. Now, there are two main types of US visas: non-immigrant visas and immigrant visas. Non-immigrant visas are for people who want to come to the US temporarily. These could be for things like tourism, study, or business. On the other hand, immigrant visas are for people who are planning to live permanently in the US, like those applying for a green card. So, depending on why you're going to the US, you'll need to figure out which type of visa you need to apply for. It's important to understand these distinctions because the process and requirements can vary widely depending on the kind of visa. For non-immigrant visas, there are several options. One of the most common is the B2 tourist visa. If you're planning to visit the US for sightseeing, family visits, or just a short trip, the B2 visa is the one you'd apply for. Then there's the F1 student visa, which is for anyone who's been accepted to a US educational institution and wants to study in the country. If you're coming for work, the H-1B visa is one of the most popular options, but it's specifically for people working in specialized fields that require a bachelor's degree or higher. These are just a few examples, and we'll get into more details about each one in a bit. Now, you might be wondering, how do I even get one of these visas? Well, let's go through the process step by step, and trust me, it's not as bad as it sounds, especially if you know what to expect. The first thing you need to do is fill out the DS-160 form. This is the online application form, and you'll find it on the US Embassy's website. It asks for some basic information like your name, address, passport details, and of course, the purpose of your visit. It can take a bit of time, so make sure you fill it out carefully. And don't forget to upload a recent photo of yourself that meets their specifications because this is super important. Once you've completed the DS-160, you'll need to pay the visa application fee. This fee varies depending on the type of visa you're applying for, so make sure you check the exact amount on the embassy's website. It's typically paid online, but make sure to save the receipt because you'll need to present it during your visa interview. Speaking of interviews, after filling out the application and paying the fee, the next step is to schedule your visa interview at the US Embassy or consulate in your country. This is the part where things can get a little nerve-wracking, but trust me, if you've done your homework and have all your documents ready, you'll be fine. You might need to wait a few weeks or even months for an interview slot, especially if there's high demand for visa appointments in your area, so plan ahead and schedule as early as possible. Now, let's talk about what you'll need to bring to the interview. The exact documents can vary depending on the type of visa, but generally you'll need your passport, with at least 6 months of validity, the DS-160 confirmation page with the barcode, the visa application fee receipt, a passport-size photo that meets the embassy's requirements, supporting documents related to your purpose of travel, like a letter of invitation if you're visiting family or friends, an acceptance letter if you're applying for a student visa, or a job offer letter if you're applying for a work visa. Having your documents in order is crucial. Missing a document can delay your application or even result in a denial, so double-check everything before heading to your interview. When it's time for your interview, be ready to answer questions about your trip, your background, and your ties to your home country. The consular officer will ask about things like why you're going to the US, how long you plan to stay, and whether you have the financial means to support yourself while you're there. One of the most important things to keep in mind is to show that you have strong ties to your home country, meaning that you're not planning on staying in the US permanently. This is especially important for tourist and student visas. If you can show that you have a job, family, or other commitments in your home country, it will strengthen your case. Now, a quick tip here. It's all about being confident and clear in your answers. Don't try to guess what they want to hear. Just be honest about your situation. The more you try to second-guess their questions or provide answers that don't align with your actual plans, the more suspicious they may become. So, stick to the truth and be prepared. Once the interview is done, the consular officer will decide whether to approve or deny your visa. If you're approved, congratulations! You'll usually receive your visa within a few days to a couple of weeks, depending on your country. If you're denied, you'll be told why, and you may be able to reapply, but you'll need to address the issue that led to the denial before doing so. All right, let's wrap up with some tips and tricks that can help boost your chances of getting that visa. Be organized. Have all your documents ready and double-check everything before you go to your interview. Demonstrate strong ties to your home country. Make it clear that you have a reason to return. Be honest. Don't try to hide any details or lie about your plans. Prepare for your interview. Practice answering questions about your trip so you feel confident. Don't be discouraged by a denial. You can always reapply, but make sure you've addressed the reason for your previous denial. And that's it. That's your complete guide to getting a US visa. It might seem like a lot of work, but if you follow these steps and stay organized, you'll be on your way to the US in no time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment below if you've ever applied for a US visa or if you have any questions about the process. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.